I'm just gonna try and get right into it. I've cried too much about this situation in the past, and I'm very proud of myself for being in the place that I am now and getting to where I am now. So hopefully there's no crying in this video. I'm a little bit nervous and a little bit scared because I don't want to portray my mom in any bad way. She's amazing, the most amazing mother I could ever ask for. She does so much for me. No, maybe she reacted in a way that wasn't very kind, but I know it was very difficult for her, as it may be for some of your parents, or even if you haven't came out, I know some of you are scared too, and so I just want to share my story to hopefully help some of you out. I don't want you guys to relate, but I know some of you guys do, so yeah. That's why I'm sitting here now and telling my story. Okay, so I'm just gonna start it all the way back to kindergarten. I had a best friend, and she definitely was, looking back, my first crush. At the time, I didn't really know. I was just like, dang, like she's really cute, but all these little girls and all these little boys are liking each other. No girl is liking a girl, no boy is liking a boy. So I was like, that's not right. I just knew in the back of my mind that me liking a girl was wrong, because in every single movie and every single TV show and everything I watched or have seen, it was just straight. Straight was all that I knew. So I knew me thinking a girl was cute was wrong. At least in my little 5-6-year-old eyes, it was wrong. I remember crushing on girls in TV shows and movies. I remember crushing on Gabriella from High School Musical. I remember everyone loving Nick Jonas and thinking he was so cute, and obviously, like, I did think and still do think guys are attractive, but I wanted to be them more than I wanted to be with them. Growing up, for me, there was just no exposure to the LGBTQ plus community, and so I just thought you had to be straight, and that was it. I don't remember how old I was when this came out, maybe 5th, 6th, or 7th grade. I don't really remember the timeline. It was like the first season of Degrassi, and there was a trans kid named Adam, and looking back, that was like the first time I was like, oh my god, you can like girls, or you can be somebody different. But at the time, I didn't know anything besides now straight and trans people. So my maybe 10-year-old self, I was like, oh my gosh, that's why I like girls, and that's why I think guys are cute, but I want to be them because they get to be with girls. I'm like, oh my gosh, I am trans. I never really told anyone that besides like the close people around me. But yeah, at the time of finding myself out and finding my sexuality, I thought back then I was trans because that was the only exposure I got to it was the show Degrassi, which I wasn't even allowed to watch, but I did anyways. I remember asking my sister what trans was, because when I watched that episode, I went to my older sister and I was just asking a lot of questions. Well, this kid on the show is taping up their boobs, and I think that was the moment maybe she got a little bit of a hint that I was gay, because she always kind of knew. I would always want to be the boy and like duet roles. There's like 2 pictures that I have. These are the only ones that I remember taking, or my older sister taking, because she would dress me up. And yeah, I just thought that if I was a boy, I could finally be with a girl. A little bit after that, I started going on YouTube. I started researching a little bit more. At that time, maybe I was like 7th grade, and I started watching Shannon and Cammie and Angelica and Madison and these lesbian couples. And I would watch all of these coming out videos, and as much as I learned from them, I still couldn't relate to them, because almost every single content creator that made a video was white, and they came out later in life when they were older, and their parents accepted them right away, and I knew that just wasn't gonna be for me. So from 7th grade to freshman year, it was when I started to learn more about myself and more about the community, but at the same time I was pushing it away as far as I could because I was absolutely terrified of anyone finding out, especially my family. I just didn't want to disappoint anyone around me. By that time, I was old enough to understand that my family was very religious, very Mexican, very Catholic, and that they weren't going to be as accepting as these other content creators' parents. As I was editing, I remember this small little detail of, I think I was in 7th or 8th grade, and I was at the mall with my mom and my little sister. There was a photo booth in the food court, and there was 2 girls in there. On the outside of the photo booth, there was a screen, and you could see the pictures they're taking in there, and these 2 girls kiss, and my mom said something along the lines of like, oh, that's so disgusting, ew. She held both of mine and my little sister's hands to walk away because she didn't want us looking at that. And that was the moment where I was like, no, I do not want my mom to ever find out about me having these feelings for girls. And I tried to push it away even more. The end of freshman year, it was probably like a month before school ended or even sooner. It was after school. I was with my still best friend Chloe and another friend that I knew I could trust, and we were waiting for our parents to pick us up. I felt like I was needing help trying to figure out who I was, but I didn't know how to ask for it. I remember asking them, I was like, what do you guys think about like gay people? And I have absolutely no idea what they said. It was nothing bad, but after that moment I was just like, no, this is too scary. My heart is pounding too much. What if they accept someone else, like a stranger, but they can't accept me because they'll just think different of me? And I was just thinking so many things in my head. I just asked them that question. They said whatever. I don't really know how the conversation went, but I was terrified of telling them in that moment. And yeah, I just went home and I still was just trying to find myself. After that school year had ended, freshman year, we were in summer going into sophomore year. This was when Ask FM was blowing up, when Kick was around, and I don't really remember how I even came out on it. I don't know if I asked myself this question just so I can come out or how it really went down, but I came out on Ask FM. If you guys don't know what it is, it's a website where people would ask questions anonymously and you would just answer them. So yeah, I came out on Ask FM and some friends texted me saying like, oh my god, is this true? And I was ready to just come out. So I came out as bi because, like I said, growing up, all I knew was straight and all of my friends would like boys. And so yes, I have dated boys before. I do not count it as dating because it was like 8th grade, 7th, 8th, freshman year. That is not a relationship. But all the guys that I would date were my best friends, and I loved them as a best friend, and I was just confused. Yes, I love this person, but I'm just not attracted to them in this way. And I was really confused on why I couldn't let myself love them any more than a friend. And I was really beating myself up for it because I was just like, okay, but if I like at least one guy, then maybe I don't ever have to be with a girl, and my family won't hate me, my friends won't think anything of me, and I'll be okay. So I was really trying to like a guy, but I just couldn't because I'm lesbian. But anyways, the beginning of sophomore year, I knew that people were texting each other, talking probably behind my back, but there was not really anything bad said to my face. The only thing that I hated, since I did label myself as bi and I was at the time very feminine presenting, guys would be like, oh my god, yeah, that's so hot. But yeah, it was really disgusting of them to say, and I wouldn't really speak up for myself about it. I would just let them say their shit. And then my little sister was in 7th grade at the time, I believe. So people at her school started talking, and she one day came up to me and asked me, and I was just like, no, like, where'd you hear that? She told me school and her friends are talking, and I was like, no, like, that's just something someone made up probably. And I was just like really scared of my family finding out. My older sister later on told me that when she found out that she was gonna go to my parents and tell on me, but she told her like, no, like, my older sister knew if my parents found out they were gonna flip, especially my mom. My first girlfriend wasn't too much after, and she was from the town over, so I was still mostly online, like texting. We hardly ever saw each other, so it was still not too much for me. I could still be normal at school. She didn't go to my school, so I didn't have to be like holding her hands or be out and about. It was just online. It wasn't really even dating, but since it was online, my mom did eventually end up finding out, and that day is a day that I will never forget. She came up to me. I was sitting on the couch in the living room, and she looks so pissed off, and she says, "Is this true?" And right away, like, my face goes white. I start shaking, and I almost want to cry, and I'm just like, yes. I don't know what really came over me, but I knew there was no more hiding after that point, so I just tell her yes. And she flips out. She goes outside and starts yelling all these things. Both of my sisters come, and they're like, oh my God, they don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. That day is the day that I heard my mom scream so loud. I've never heard anyone or anything scream louder than that day. I won't say exactly what she said, but she said very, very awful things. And after that moment, I felt like I kind of broke my family, because my mom would be yelling. My dad wouldn't defend me, but he would try to calm her down. My older sister, though, would definitely defend me. But as much as I had learned, I was still learning about myself. Obviously, like, I labeled myself as bi and I'm lesbian, but I just needed a lot of help, and I did not feel at home in my own home. It was just a lot of arguing, a lot of going back and forth. Looking back now, it's all kind of a blur, to be honest, because I tried to, very traumatic, I tried to forget about that moment in time as much as I can, because it was a very ugly time. It was from the beginning of my sophomore year to the end of my junior year, and still, that was just the like terrible, terrible part. There's still some bad parts after that. Those were the hardest parts of my life, because I would leave my house a lot. Around that time, I was lucky because my friends were very supportive of me. They knew what was going on. I had my friends' moms, which were very supportive of me, and they would take me in. Cassidy's mom, Mariah's mom. I'm gonna give you guys a little shout out, because you guys don't know how much you helped me during the most difficult part of my life. You guys brought me in when I didn't really have anyone, and I could never thank you guys more for that. And that's when my grades started going downhill. I wouldn't really try in school. I would skip school a lot. Thankfully, I was still in basketball. My mom still let me do a sport, but basketball is for only a small part of the year. So the other times, I would just try to leave home as much as possible. She would kick me out and tell me to leave, and then when I would actually leave, she would blow up my phone and say and threaten a lot of things. I just didn't want to be home because it did not feel like one. I would fight with my mom, not ever telling her anything that I would regret, because I knew whatever she was saying hurt me a lot, and I did not want her to hurt her in the same way that she was hurting me. Every time I would fight with her would be just trying to explain myself, trying to explain how I felt. She wouldn't want to hear it, or she would listen for maybe 10 seconds and then say that no, it's wrong, no, I'm going to hell, no, many horrible, horrible things. I was just very confused, and I didn't know how she could treat her own daughter that way, because before she had found out, we were like best friends. My mom and I were amazing. She got me and I got her, and for her to not even try to understand me confused me a lot, and I just didn't know what to do. So I became very depressed. I wouldn't really eat, started to struggle with a lot of things, especially anxiety and panic attacks, and I just didn't really know how to get out of it when my home was so toxic and I had to go back to that practically every day. More important information that I did miss, I think it was my junior year of high school. My older sister was already away in college, but she wanted to try and help me back home. So she suggested to my parents family therapy, and we went probably 3 times. For me, it was kind of helping me. My mom wasn't really trying. She said it didn't really help her out, so we just stopped going. But yeah, we did try family therapy in I think my junior year of high school, but nothing really came from it. So my favorite uncle, one of my mom's brothers, I would go to him a lot and he would be there for me. He would try to talk to my mom and try to make her understand, and he did help a lot. It wasn't perfect, but after my uncle started talking to my mom, she started getting a little bit better. I got met in my last relationship, and at the time I was 19, and when I came to her about it, I was gonna take her on a date, and my mom was okay with it for like maybe 2 dates, and then she was like sick of it again, and we were just, and the cycle continued, and we were fighting nonstop. And if you guys don't know who I'm talking about, it's who I had a channel with before, Alexis, and I'm still so thankful for that relationship because her mom was so amazing to me, and she found out my whole history with my mom and me coming out, and she brought me into her home right away, and she made it feel like a home for me. I will forever be thankful for all of them. So during that time, me moving out and living with them and not being at home anymore, my mom wasn't talking to me. She would still call me sometimes just to tell me off, and I would tell her like, okay, like if you're going to still be this way, I don't want to be a part of your life because this is who I am. And I was 19. I still didn't need her, but if I had to, I would do it on my own. And with the help of the people around me, I was okay. Like I said, my last relationship, we had a YouTube channel. And again, I want to thank all of you guys because I really think that helped my mom open her eyes a little bit. As much as like I thought she just hated me, she was just mostly scared of what people would think. She didn't want me posting anything on social media. She especially hated that I had a YouTube channel with her. Us growing so fast and so many people supporting us and loving us, I think really opened her eyes because she was like, okay, yes, there's going to be people that will not like it, but there's so many people that do support it, and all of that love overcomes the hate. So around half year mark, I believe, that's when my uncle started talking to my mom and telling her like, this thing that you think is a phase is not a phase. He really does not need you. She obviously wants you, so it's either you choose to be in her life or not. And so slowly but surely we started talking again, we started communicating a little bit more, things started to get a little bit better. There were still definitely patchy parts from 2019, I believe, till now, but that whole entire time she definitely was trying. She would tell me that she accepts me and she wants me happy. And from last year on my birthday, June of 2020, is when she's been like perfect. I started talking to my now girlfriend in July, and I told my mom about it probably in like the beginning of August, saying like, I'm gonna travel 2,000 miles to see her, and she was okay with it. She is so in love with my girlfriend. From meeting her and the first day they met, she just loved who she was as a person and who I was starting to become. And she saw how beautiful mine and my girlfriend's relationship is. And now my mom is asking my girlfriend, when are we getting married? When are we having kids? Yeah, my mom has come a very long way. I have came a very long way. And I'm so happy that I stayed patient, even though it was so hard. And even though I didn't think that I would make it this far, I did. I'm here now with the love of my life, with a family that loves me so much, that supports me so much, with a mom that now comes to a pride event and speaking at and dances with a drag queen. I just never thought that this would be my life, and I'm so thankful for, again, all of you that support me, because you guys make my day every day. I'm so thankful for everyone, all of my friends and my family that helped me get to where I am now, and I can't wait to continue to show you guys my life on this channel. For you guys struggling right now, I know it is hard. You probably look at me now or other content creators that are so happy that can be themselves, and you guys are kind of beating yourselves up because you're like, when can I be myself without my family's judgment, without my friends' judgment? Because I know, at least for me, I was sitting where you guys are, not really knowing where to go or where to turn to or who to talk to. All I know is to stay patient, and your time will come. If you guys are in a bad situation right now and you guys can't move out of the house, or you're too young to move out of the house, please stay patient. You have so many people around you that love you, that care for you, that need you here. I know I need you guys here. And if you don't have anyone you could talk to right now, if you can anonymously comment, I know there's gonna be someone that you can talk to in the comments. I really just want you guys to share beautiful messages in this video. I'll be commenting back, but I also want you guys to comment back. Yeah, let's just all be here for each other. I did have my mom record something special for you guys, for your parents. Hopefully they'll listen to this 2-minute section of my mom speaking. Hopefully at least one parent can listen to it. Then it's one parent down, and I know we have a lot to go, but we gotta start somewhere. So yeah, here's my mom.
Hello everyone, I'm Tatiana's mom, and I just want to let everyone know how I felt when I found out she was gay. It was very hard for me. I even kicked her out of the house. It all has to do with, most of it is, what are people gonna say? What is family gonna say? And that is so wrong. Why? Because the most important thing when me as a mom is your children. And now I understand. I just want her to be happy. I love her dearly. I have the best relationship with her now. We're like buddies. And I just want to reach out to all the parents to listen to them, to love them before it's too late. They can hurt themselves. And all of you kids that are struggling, just talk to your parents. Be patient. It's gonna be like a bomb in the beginning. It's all gonna turn out good. And I'm glad that I opened my eyes, and the most important thing now is my children. And Tatiana, she has a great heart, and I'm focusing on her right now.
And that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, comment below some sweet words. If you guys need help, anonymously comment down below if you aren't comfortable sharing on your own account. And let's just make this world a beautiful place. I love you all, and thank you all for listening.